Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Professor Dungeon Master. We're going to talk about cancer. We're going to talk about a weird two-step that Professor Dungeon Master did about his cancer, saying, "Hey, I need your help because I have cancer, but I don't need this kind of help. I need that kind of help." I'm like, "What? Wait, and how this abrases how this causes abrasion on two subjects I am fascinated by. One, I have a concept that here. Okay, this is what I'm saying. There's not, if you try to make a living creating tabletop role playing games or anything, even related to tabletop role playing games, there's a 99% chance your career will fail and you will starve to death. I don't believe. So first of all, I don't even think the tabletop role playing game industry is real. I think it's a very dangerous fake. It does not function as an actual industry. So let's talk about what Professor Dungeon Master did. So first of all, he did a video, and if you want to see these comments, he did the video about how clickbait destroyed my channel. And I do think he is paying some real prices for using some very real clickbait thumbnails, right? And I feel he did this entire video because he's very guilty, feels very guilty about it, and he should. He should. He absolutely clickbaited. There's no two ways about it. I think he says it clearly in the video, and this entire video is for him to justify it, right? And I think Professor Dungeon Master is a really good guy, and I'm not wondering about this. I know he's in the mix, right? So he is very much in the mix with a lot of other creators, and they're like, "Hey, if you want your channel to go, you got to clickbait," right? And he's like, "Well, I don't want to clickbait. I'm a good guy. I want to tell the truth." And they're like, "Well, you can suck and have 3,000 subs like Scott Garibay, or you can ball out and lie like us and have 100,000 subs." It's exactly what he did. But now I think he's such a good guy, he genuinely feels bad about it. And I think that's the whole video, okay? Now get this, right? In the video, he's like, "Hey, you guys didn't click on my non-clickbait content. So that's why I'm clickbaiting," right? Like, I'm clickbaiting because you click on clickbait. And I'm like, that doesn't excuse, you're 100% right. People click on clickbait. That doesn't excuse your obligation as a human being to not make our society worse by lying about things. All right? And he's like, "Well, technically I didn't lie." I'm like, dude, you know better. You know you're lying, right? You're lying by omission. You're lying by confusion, right? It's clickbait, right? Like, just, have 3,000 subs like me and be able to sleep at night, right? Because I think you're making society worse by making lies with your clickbait, So, okay. So then he's like, "Hey, all you guys, you didn't click on my thing. And this only made $200 and this made $1,500. And I have cancer." And then he's like, wait. Let me slow down. Nobody needs to GoFundMe, right? And the reason why is I have insurance, right? And he said this ain't his real job, right? Like he's like, I think his professor part is because he's an actual real professor, right? So I think he teaches somewhere, right? And he has a real job and real insurance, right? And so he says, hey everybody, I have cancer. You got to click on my videos, right? But then he's like, "But don't GoFundMe because this is all going to get paid by insurance," right? And you're like, wait a second. But then he says, "But you guys, if you want to help me, right, because I do have cancer, I'm going to have these bills, why don't you click on my videos?" And I'm like, dude, no, man. No. You either have cancer and everybody needs to go fund you, right, and get all this fixed, or you don't have a real problem and you can't leverage your cancer to get people to click on Dungeons and Dragons videos. It's one or the other, right? And this is a very weird two-step, right? So why do I care about this? Well, a couple of reasons. One, I think this absolutely proves tabletop role-playing commentary products. If you're trying to make a living with tabletop role-playing games, 1% can make it, 99% fail. And he cannot. And Professor Dungeon Master cannot make a living doing this. He cannot. Right? He's a real dude, real family, real kids, real wife, the whole nine. Right? And this industry is not going to support any of that. Right? This industry barely keeps people in beer and pretzels. Right? It's not a real industry. Okay? All right. Next. The other one is this ain't a game. Right? Like, people continue to pretend that Dungeons and Dragons is a game. This guy's mixing his cancer and your need to click on a commentary video to save his life, right? with something that's supposed to be a fun little game, everybody. It's a fun little game. Oh, aren't we having playing fun? Oh, isn't this a great fun game? If you don't click on my commentary video, I die. We're like, are you kidding me? Like, what the fuck, what the full-on F? This is completely fabargle. This is completely fabargle, right? It's either a fun little video game and you got no business mixing your cancer death ploy in it, or it's what I said it was from the beginning. This is hardcore human improvement engine. This is, do we go to war because humanity's worse, right? Right? And that's my point, is I actually think that Dungeons & Dragons can fix our world, make people better at a fundamental societal level, right? And what would be good evidence of that? A dude literally saying, if you don't click on these commentary videos, I have cancer, will die. And I'm paraphrased, okay? It's not literal, but he is quite literally saying, hey, I got cancer, right? Am I going to be able to get the treatments? I don't need a gun for me, but I do need you to click on this video. You clicking on a D&D commentary video decides if I die or not, or will have some sway in that. You either take it out or you leave it in, right? You don't get to two-step it, right? And that's my point. This is a weird two-step. And the reason it's a weird two-step is nothing on Dungeons & Dragons is simple. This guy is literally saying, click on my D&D. I really feel like this guy is saying, right? If you read between the lines, he's saying, click on my D&D commentary video or I die, right? He tried to, he didn't want to make it too good, and I think the reason why he didn't want to go down that road with GoFundMe is you can actually get in trouble if you're raising money for a false reason, right? Now, I think he does have cancer, right? But this is a very, very strange thing. And this two-step he's doing is outrageously strange, unless literally life and death relies on Dungeons & Dragons exactly the way I've said from the beginning. And I think that's actually what's happening, right? And increasingly, the idea that Dungeons & Dragons is a game is ludicrous if you just listen to the commentary, just look at the products, just look at the events, right? There's so much stuff, I can't even cram it all into my little channel, right? December 30th, 2024, there was a full-on New York Times article about Dungeons & Dragons, right? And the switch from the word race to species. And in the headline, it listed Elon Musk, a guy who is talking 3 times a day to the leader of the free world. Dungeons & Dragons is not a game, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. And the important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking and subscribing and have a fetch millennium.